Hello, dear football freaks, and very welcome to the ninth, is it correct? I think it's the ninth episode of Talking K-Town, the podcast where we talk about K-Town. And because talking to myself would be extremely boring, I'm always happy that my beloved friend Steven is right with me. Bro, how are you, man?
After the match from this past weekend, no words can express how really pumped I am. I still have goosebumps on my hand.
Oh, me too,
Yeah.
me too. So I think we should definitely do something against like our how do you call it when you're getting nervous, like a little shaky? So
You've got to take the edge off a little bit.
yeah, exactly. So I guess you were just telling me that you got a very special beer. So I'm extremely excited. What's yours? I'm drinking Bitburger as always.
I don't think it'll show it because of that filter, but it's a brewery here in Cleveland called Noble Beast.
Okay.
They make a Vienna lager. So it's a lager beer, kind of like a Helles almost.
Yeah.
But let's Prost.
Prost to the 3 freaking points on Saturday.
Oh, that's very good. This really tastes like a München Helles, like you would have like a fest beer. Yeah,
that is awesome. If you have ever the chance, not you because you've been to Germany, but if you have been to Germany, if you have the chance to be in Germany and you get a Helles, try it out. It's one of the best beers ever.
Yeah.
Or Tegernseer, which is also really good. Isn't that the kind of beer they sell in Giesing in the stadium of 1860?
I think so. Yeah.
Me too. But I wouldn't bet on it so far. But the last time we've played against them, it were definitely Tegernseer. So.
Yeah, I had the Giesinger Brau there, which
also.
It's because 1860, the stadium, the Groundhopper Stadium, is in Untergiesing, a little neighborhood. For people that don't know München or Munich, it's a big city that's kind of divided into like districts, maybe you would call it.
I would call them
you
districts.
Have Obergiesing, Untergiesing. You have like Stadtmitte, which is kind of like the heart of where all the tourist stuff is. But this beer you can only get from this one place, and it doesn't really ship out to other parts of Germany. You can't find it in Thun or anything.
Nope.
But it's fantastic. You get it at the Groundhopper Stadion, and it's fantastic. I think my first time going to Dusseldorf was in 2019. It was an away match against
Fortuna.
It's against a third league club.
Oh, I'm terribly. Oh, of course. But I get so used to being in second league again.
I know. Not so long ago, we were in the third division.
Absolutely right. Could it be Fortuna Köln or Viktoria Köln?
It wasn't either one of them. I think it was. It has the red and blue in their. They were borrowing that stadium.
KFC Uerdingen.
Uerdingen, yeah. They were playing there because their stadium, I think, was being either built or renovated. But I remember when I got there and we got out of the bus, we took a bus from K-Town at like 4 a.m. to get up there. And as soon as we got out of the bus, I had my first alt beer. Which was, to me, like, I like the dark beer. I like the Helles. I like the Dunkel. I love the Bock beer. I'm a very big fan of dark beer. And I think I must have probably drank about 12 alt beers that day.
Yeah, alt beer is very special.
The match was very good. I think we won like 3-0 or 3-1 something. But that stadium was my first time in a Bundesliga stadium.
Oh, no, you have been to K-Town before.
Well, yeah, on the road. I meant on the road.
Gotcha.
Yeah, on the road. And then I think a few months later we got to go to Stuttgart against Holstein Kiel. That was my second major ballpark experience. Okay. Mercedes-Benz Arena there, which was really, it's a beautiful park. I love it.
Yeah, it is very cool. But there we made a very nice bridge to our major theme or why we're here. We're talking about football. So Which game do we need to cover first? Was it again an away match?
The away matches as of late have been really sad, very depressing to watch, and where you don't even want to watch the highlight videos because there's really no highlights from us except guys on the pitch going through the motions of playing football and not really coming up with any kind of novel schemes.
Any ideas? I have the feeling like they playing at home so extremely and with so much passion that they ran out of energy for the upcoming away match.
Yeah, and I'm looking. I was just talking to my English friend Damon. He's an 1860 supporter. He's like, man, K-Town's really not. They went into the winter break on a roll. You know, we were right up there in like third place. And it seems like after, we came back, we had a couple really good matches after we did our video with Terrence Boyd on our program.
Yeah.
It seems like, I don't know, maybe they got too proud of themselves for where they were and decided, hey, we don't have to give 100% every match. I'm not going to speak for them. I'm not a player. I'm just a fan. But from my perspective, from watching the videos, especially on the road, it's like the closer that we've gotten to that 40 points to have for our class preservation, it's like, all right, we could take our foot off the gas a little bit. And I'm like, no, you play it all the way to the end, and where you finish up, you finish up. I agree completely.
Well, let's take the 5 last away matches.
Yeah.
We haven't scored 1 goal. We got 7 of them, and we lost all of them.
Yeah.
And keep in mind, in the first half of the season, we haven't lost 1.
On the road, yeah.
And all of the sudden...
Incredible, yeah.
All of the sudden, what happened? I have no idea.
They took all of that magic and poured it into the last 2 home games, I think.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, let's focus on the most important games, which I really think were the most important ones, which is the one against Heidenheim, because the last minutes were
historical. Never been done before. Like you told me, never been done before.
Yeah.
In the second league in its history.
In its history, absolutely.
Yeah, that is cool.
Never before has ever a team drawn in the stoppage time when they were 2 goals behind.
Yeah.
Never ever happened this before. This is what K-Town is, and why is this game so important? Because of this game, we got the 40 points, and we're safe now. I would definitely say we're safe.
Yeah.
Even if you look at the bottom of the table.
I think we were safe even before that. I think 39 points would be fine. I don't see the 3 bottom teams even catching up. But that number is special in any football league. 40 points is where you strive to make sure that, hey, we're probably not going to go up, but at least we're not going to go down.
Exactly. It is like the magic border, to call it like this. And the match itself was so extremely emotional for me.
Yeah.
Being there, standing there, Heidenheim is playing on the top spots at the top of the table.
Yep.
And my expectations weren't like we're going to win like 5-0 or something. I expected like a draw. But after we have been 2 goals behind, I thought like, okay, well, what did I expect? Especially if you keep in mind we lost the game before because it was an away match.
Yeah.
The game before, the home match was against Sandhausen, which we drawed 2-2.
Yeah.
Always funny to say for me this 2-2.
2-2.
2-2. 2 goals, 2 for 2 both, or
yeah. 2 for them and 2 for us.
How do you say it?
We call it a tie.
A tie, yeah. But is it a 2-2?
Yeah, 2-2. Yeah.
It sounds strange for me. But and then the stoppage time was announced like 5 or 6 minutes, and we in the 90th minute, Heidenheim got a penalty, a freaking penalty, and they missed.
Yeah, I was watching it, and it's like, you know, the ESPN announcer is he's from England, so they have an English presentation on ESPN. So I think what they do is they take whatever stream comes from Sky, and then they just get the video, and then this guy's watching it and making a commentary into a microphone. Yeah. But it sounds like he's actually in the stadium.
So they got like the crowd and stuff in the background still.
Yeah.
That is nice, because I remember years ago you can turn off just the commentator, but you
and listen to the stadium.
Which was, that is a good idea. I think they stopped it. I have no clue why, but
I could take or leave that, because I think if you're a good broadcaster, whether you're on the radio or the television, I think you can add to the moment by a description. You know, radio is really important because you're dependent on a guy to kind of paint a picture with words. But when you're just a commentator on a TV, you're kind of just, you know, maybe throwing in a stat here or there, trying to add a little bit of flavor to it. But the commentary from the Heidenheim game was just, especially when Herrscher tied it up at 2-2. There's your favorite word again. His description, and you could see it because, like, the camera, when they zoomed in on him when he like ran back and was sticking his tongue out, and the camera was shaking. It was like the whole stadium was like rocking all the way down to the foundation, and the announcer was like, and the Fritz Walter Stadium is going nuts, and the Betzenberg has gone absolutely mental. That was the and I'm like, oh, dude.
I can feel this, man.
Absolutely mental.
With that English slang. Oh, that is awesome. I really like this when people which are just commentators or someone, and you can feel that they really passionate with their commentating.
They experienced that moment. Yeah. In fact, when he was leading up to that goal, you know, he was describing how great this match is ending. You know, you had a game that could easily be 0-3 in favor of them. And now it's still 2-0 because of the missed penalty kick. Then Depreville scores that laser beam shot. It's 2-1. And the announcer's like, well, Heidenheim looks like they're going to be really rattled because now anything can happen. And literally, I think 45 seconds later, the ball went in and it went up and then it fell into the box. And it was like nobody knew where the ball was. It looked like it hit one guy on the arm and they're like raising their hands. And the announcer's like, well, this match is just going absolutely crazy. Heidenheim just wants to get the ball out of there. And it kept going back in. And he was saying how absolutely crazy the second division is to watch, and it was full of drama. And as soon as he said drama, the ball landed right in front of Herrscher. He kind of flicked it into the corner, and that's when he lost his voice. He's like, I can't believe this. It's 2-2.
I can't describe the feeling of being in the block in this situation. I've been through many, many extreme games in my life with so many different teams. And when it comes to stoppage time, I always think of the game where we played against Eintracht Frankfurt back in the first league. And my brother looked over because, you know, we're both visually handicapped. So we don't see what's going on the field. And he was looking at me and saying, man, it's a draw. It was 0-0 so far. And that's over. And like seconds later, we were cheering and hugging each other because we scored. And so many extreme things happened in the stoppage time, but I think this was one of the most emotional situations because we were 2 goals behind. We had the penalty. or Heidenheim had the penalty, and then we made it a tie. That was so extreme. And if you ask me, to be absolutely honest, if this game would have gone on for, let's say, 2 more minutes or 3 more minutes, I bet we would have won.
Oh yeah,
I guarantee that we scored once more.
Goal, when Depraville scored, it was like the ball had a magnet to it down in that corner.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like somebody was holding a magnet and drawing the ball that way.
And there is a forum for Heidenheim fans on the web, and they said, like, I have to after we scored the first goal, they were so scared, because the players and even the fans, because we were getting so extremely loud, and so it was so massive. The West Curve were completely out of their minds, and after the second goal, their knees were shaking, and they were so nervous, and they knew if this game is going on for a few more minutes, they're lose
done.
it.
Yeah, they don't get a point. They had 0 points.
Exactly. So even they said how emotional it was for them in a negative way, but in my point of view, it was a pure celebration.
Oh yeah.
And the celebration afterwards were great. So
I watched a video, and I'm about to actually make a point here. I was watching YouTube, and I have a saved, like, a favorite search in YouTube, and it says Kaiserslautern. And I go on there, and I see, it's usually football related, but there's other times where it's people walking through the town with a GoPro and filming the city. But it was a gentleman that was making a kind of like he does kind of like what you do. He does a report on the stadium. It's like a stadium vlog, but he leaves before the match ends, and he finishes it in his car and said, well, I left, and they ended up tying. Let this be a lesson to you people. Never, ever leave until that whistle is blown.
Absolutely.
You never, ever know what will happen, especially at the Betzenberg.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This is, because I point that out in my video as well. That was just like a flying middle finger to everyone. You don't leave. You never leave your freaking team, no matter what. No matter what. Yeah. And there are no excuses, like I heard from people from the game against Hamburg now, or it was a late game, of course, but that doesn't count. That freaking doesn't count. There are many people which need to take the train or something. I know it's not the best situation, but you don't leave your team.
Oh, I gotta go home and let the dog out. No, you don't.
or my hamster's ill, or my microwave got kidnapped, or any other crap. I have no idea. So you never leave your team. You stay to your team, and you celebrate with them, or you cry with them.
Yep.
So that was lesson learned right there, folks.
Yeah. And what really gets me is, and we've talked about this a lot, is I really miss K-Town. I miss being with you guys. I miss being in the stadium, in the block. And when I see people leaving early and me wanting to be there so bad, it's kind of like them flipping me the middle finger. Like,
I see.
There are so many people that would kill somebody to be in that stadium, even if we're getting blown out 5-0.
Yeah,
I would rather be there with my Betze family and putting an arm around and saying, yeah, it sucked, but hey, at least we were here together. Let's go drink some beers and forget about it. When you leave your team, no matter what the score is, you're kind of disrespecting not only the team, you're disrespecting the fans that don't have that opportunity to be where you're at,
Absolutely agreed, bro.
Yeah.
And I throw it in right here because I just remember that I saw on Wir sind Betze on Facebook a guy, he posted, I've got a spare season ticket for the rest of the games from Hamburg on for the rest of the season, and he want to pass it over for someone who hasn't the money to afford to go to K-Town every time. And there were a comment, and a guy asked how much, and his answer were, it is a spare one. I want to make it a gift for someone who can't afford to go to the stadium. And I was sitting there, I was reading it, and no kidding, I got a little tear in my eyes, because then I wrote it as a comment that this is Betze family. This is sticking together. This is sharing the love for our team. And I thought it was so great. I contacted him afterwards, and he found someone. And the good thing is he took care that is a real person who were in need, not like someone who's getting the season ticket and sell it for, let's say, Fortuna Düsseldorf on the last game or something. He was really serious with this, and I highly respect this. And this is a huge honor for me.
It makes you have a little bit of faith in humanity, that there's still like really, really good people out there that are not in it to make a quick buck, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
I've seen this many times on different web forums for Betze Brent. I've seen it on Wilson Betze. I've seen it on our little group, Betze Brut. Just lots of people that want to help out somebody.
And you say a quick buck, and so many people, especially when I remember the away game in St. Pauli, they sold their tickets for $150.
Yeah,
for 10 times of the actual price. And I was so happy that I asked if someone has a ticket for me, and I got it for the regular price. And I met the guy, and he said, like, here, there you go, there's the tickets. And I paid him, and then I said, yeah, come on, let me give you like 20 more or something. And he was like, no, I just want the money for my ticket. So I got my own spended money covered. And come on, I just want to give you a beer or something. And then we drank 2 beers together, and he was happy, I was happy. And this is what real football culture means to me, not just in Kaiserslautern, but actual football culture. But if you see that in the last game against the HSV, there were so many scammers. No kidding. So freaking many. Oh, wow. I was on. I searched for a ticket for the North Tribune, because I knew that there's going to be a choreography which is over 2 sides of the stadium, so the west curve and the south curve, and really,
which was absolutely breathtaking. Exactly. We can talk about that in a minute. We have to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, we definitely have to. And then someone wrote me a message. Oh, I got 3 tickets to spare, but it's for the East. And I was like, no, I'm looking particularly for the North. And all of a sudden, this particular person posted it on so many sites, and then they popped up everywhere, like comments. Has someone bought the tickets from? Put the name here, I can't remember it. And they scammed all of these guys. Like, usually the tickets are, let's say $25, and they said like, okay, let's make it 20. And they passed over the money, and never got the tickets.
Oh, wow.
This sucks so bad. But on the other hand, this is why when I do something like this, I usually, when I pay with PayPal, using the buyer security, how is it called?
Exactly.
So you can take your money back, and the people want to save the €2 or €3 in the end.
Send it with what do they call it? Friends and family.
Yeah, exactly. And then you lost all of this. And this sucks real bad, because now there are many people which got scammed. I know at least for 100% sure that it was free. So 3 people got scammed, and there were many people more out there which bought like tickets on eBay. We call it Kleinanzeigen, which means like
Kleinanzeigen. Yep, I still have that app on my handy.
Yeah, okay.
I still do.
okay, you know what I'm talking about. And they sold tickets for 180 or 200 or something. This is completely insane. Yeah. Really, brother. And I had a ticket for the West Curve to spare, and a coworker of mine asked me like a few weeks ago if he could join me in the stadium for once, and I was like, okay, but if you want to go to the West Coast with me, I'd make it a special game for you, and it was the HSV. So, and because I bought it already, man, just give me a beer, we're good.
Oh yeah,
this is how it goes.
That's one thing I need to do the next time that I'm in K-Town, which will probably be next year. I've never actually been to a match with you, except for that one time that it was a, I think it was a, it was the Pokal Finale.
Pokal Finale, yeah.
To get entrance into the Pokal, and we were down there.
The DFB Cup.
Yeah, but I would definitely love to see a match from your perspective on the other side of the curve, because I'm used to being in 10.1. Or 8.1, you know, if you're looking at the goal to the right.
Yeah, me too.
You always see this one gentleman that wears a kuta, and his name is Dieter. He's an older guy.
Yeah,
he always has the tan, and I always look for him on television. I'm like, there's my man right there. He's still there. I call him Old Faithful because he's been there for I don't know how many years.
I thought I asked him how long he has been. I can't remember, but eons, I would say.
I think the 70s or the 80s, maybe.
Yeah, I would say late 70s.
Yeah.
He told me when his first game were. Man, I can't remember. This is a topic which we usually talk about a lot of times when you meet older people, and so. Mm-hmm.
The game that we beat Mainz in the Pokal, I saw him crying, and I was like, "What's going on,
I can
man?"
feel this.
He's like, "This is how this place used to be every week."
Yeah,
like when they were in the Bundesliga, every week was drama, excitement, and finally, after all that time in the third league, we had a sellout stadium, and then we had a few weeks later we had the match against Mannheim.
Yeah.
So we had like 2 sellouts within like 1 month. And I remember when the final whistle blew and I saw him just kind of standing there leaning, and I saw the tears coming down his face. And I'm like, dude, you all right? He's like, yeah. And he's like, this was like, this environment was like this every Saturday.
Yeah.
A full stadium, which is, I think we've had a sellout almost every game this year for the most part. I know they don't fill the other end by the guest block because they have to have that buffer, but we're getting 33,000, 34,000.
Yeah, I would estimate it like 34,000 roundabout.
Yeah. I mean that we never got that in the third league. Maybe for Mannheim we would get 28 or 30.
Oh no, I think Mannheim was really packed. I would say 40.
Okay, yeah. But most games in the third league, 16,000 maybe, 14,000.
Yeah,
or you'd
especially
have
when that freaking season where we almost got relegated. That was a harsh time. So 60,000 was a good
Mr.
estimate.
Laptop Trainer, Horst Somers.
Yeah.
I remember that. I mean, the West Curve is usually always pretty full.
Yes,
but then you'd have a little bit of people in the South Tribune, a little bit in the North, and maybe
a few
5 people in the very far end.
Yeah, especially when there was a team or Ferl or someone.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Have you heard that? Hang on. It is. Was it Ferl? There was an away match, I think it was in Zwickau, and there were just one fan there. Just one away fan.
Hey!
And that was so nice. The team, of course, recognized this, and they gave him a season ticket for the next season. And I think they invited him for the next away match to join him, to join the team. And the bus.
Wow.
If I'm right.
I have to look this up now. Football fan with one.
What team was that? It wasn't Elversberg because they're doing good. Was it? Oldenburg has too many fans. It was a real tiny club. I guess it was Ferl. But, man.
Oh, here it is. I saw this video on YouTube, and it's a club called Tas G Baknang.
Yeah. Baknang, yeah.
And there's a guy whose name is Nico, and he is the YouTube channel said, here's a German team with one ultra. And it's this one guy.
Oh, that's awesome.
With the banner. And I followed him on Facebook and everything like that and talked to him. And I saw you on YouTube. Yeah. And I think they're in the Regionalliga now, or maybe the Oberliga or the Landesliga. But they're the team loves him. He's like their mascot and their biggest fan, like all in one package.
That is awesome. I think that is so awesome. And I always get a little angry when I see, of course, I still have Dritte Liga, so Liga Free online on Facebook. I follow them, and I'm always getting a little angry when they always post like pictures of the home crowd and the away crowd, and there's so many people which do that laugh emoji. Yeah, because they have like just 20 people there, and man, it doesn't matter. You love your club, and even if you're standing there all by yourself, that makes it even more worth, if you ask me.
Yeah, and it's like we always joked about Grosshausbach.
Yeah.
Hey, can you be quiet? We want to let our team hear us.
For 2 minutes. Yeah, that was a very nice banner. And I remember being in the block in Waldhof Mannheim. So, for our second team, our first team played as well. And I've been there with exactly 11 guys.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but we did our best. We lost, but still, it was a lot of fun. We had a great day. Yeah, that was.
I just
really
watched
cool.
A highlight video. I guess our under 17 team played the under 16 team of FSV Mainz 05 and beat them 2-0 this weekend. And that looks like we've got some good talent coming up through the youth department.
Oh my God!
On our club.
Our sub-9 team is so crazy. They won 17-0, and the week later they won 22-0. Back then, I need to check this again, but they had a goal difference of 147 scored goals against 15 gotten ones.
Oh, wow.
So
it's like they have to have a role where, like, if you go up by more than 5, you have to play, have to play with like an arm behind your back.
Yeah,
and
I just want to say this. So, because, well, of course, you need to handle even losses, but this is not even a loss. This is torture. For a kid,
train wreck. What we call here in Cleveland a dump trucking. Yeah. If you get like shut out by like 8-0, we call it you just got dump trucked. You got loaded up into a dump truck and poured out.
Oh my God. So if we're talking about train wrecks, then the week after that, a real awesome game against Heidenheim, we played against Braunschweig.
Yeah.
And bro, I can't describe how annoyed afterwards I were by rewatching the game.
Yeah.
There were no ideas.
I never watched it to begin with. It wasn't on TV, so I was spared that that torture.
That is no ideas on the field. Yeah. So many missed passes. So that was just a bad game. You can't call it otherwise, because you can't call it anything else, because Braunschweig deserved to win this game. To be absolutely honest, they had the bigger goal chances. They didn't use them except one. And of course, there were that real uncool situation where the player of Braunschweig and our player ran to each other with their heads, and the Braunschweig player got his nose broken. And how do you call it when you hit your head that your brain is like
a concussion?
Yeah, also.
The brain hits the skull.
Yeah, exactly. This is real unfortunate, and I hope he's doing good so far, or well, or whatever. Because this is, even though I don't like Braunschweig because of the friendship, not as much, but I know some people from Braunschweig, so... Yeah, but even though it's an enemy player, that doesn't mean that I want to hurt them or something.
Yeah, exactly.
So
and they have a friendship with is their friendship with that we don't like? Is it
Mannheim?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
They call it the Achse des Bösen, which means like the axe of evil. Is it?
That makes sense. Yeah. That makes sense. Yep.
Yeah. So. Okay, but still. Screw this game, just forget about it, because you can't talk about this anymore. That really, really, really sucked. Yeah. And you've been in our stream, wasn't you? Yeah. And I don't know if you recognize it, but my brother and I started talking more and more and more to each other and with the chat, because the game was so freaking boring.
Yeah.
That was torture again to watch.
Yeah. And you would have had more fun like going out to the yard and putting grass seeds in the dirt and watching the grass grow, or painting the wall and watching the paint dry.
Yeah. Or cutting the grass after you watched it grow with like a nail clipper.
Nail clippers.
Yeah. That was oh my god. But when it comes to grass, bro, because I needed a very old-fashioned recording of a game between Kaiserslautern and the HSV. I checked it up on YouTube. Look this up. You definitely have to check this out. Type in Kaiserslautern, Hamburger SV, and Betze Legends.
Okay.
The pitch. That is, they could never get through with something like this.
It was like mud, right?
I showed it to my father, and he was looking at it and said, "This is more brown than green, and all the holes in the grass, and oh my god, how could they play on something like this?" Nowadays, it's like the grass is like a carpet, you know? And they were one of the best.
You have guys that are looking at it like this, with their head on the ground, to make sure like the grass is level. You know, they're taking a measuring tape and a level to make sure it's like straight. And
but a guy on YouTube, a guy on YouTube posted a comment, and he said like, "Could you imagine these tattooed hair?" Model players from nowadays should play on a pitch like this. Like if they get touched, they fall down, like, and they die. And back then they couldn't even run like 10 yards on this pitch, man.
I know.
That was crazy. You have to check it out, man.
Funny story. Before the Cleveland Browns and the Cleveland, they're called the Guardians now, but back then they were the Indians. Both teams played in what was called Municipal Stadium. It was back in the 60s and the 50s, a lot of the stadiums for American sports were dual purpose. So in the summer, it would be baseball. So because baseball has like a dirt infield, and they have the outfield is grass. But then during football season, they could fit the football field in that same stadium. And Cleveland was known for having one of the worst conditioned fields that you can play in, because when the ball got into the infield, which is where the dirt is, where the bases are and the pitching mound, that's right where you would try to kick a field goal.
Oh,
and
awesome.
And when the weather was really bad and it was a lot of rain or it was snow, anytime the ball that got into that area, it was like no man's land. It couldn't move. If they tried to hold the ball to kick it, it would have half the ball would have mud on it because it was in the field. And nobody wanted to play there because it was like, oh, if we get to the 30-yard line, we better score a touchdown, because if we try to kick it, the ball's going to go like 3 feet and just fall over. It's got mud.
Okay.
But I understand that, because I remember watching games in our stadium where it's raining and the guys are tearing it up with their shoes, and we had white jerseys, and they would walk off the field just brown.
Oh my God. Okay, that is really, really crazy. Oh my God. Sometimes the conditions can be real bad.
Oh yeah.
And
well, look at the games that like when Fritz Walter played.
Yeah.
And the pitches weren't really good back then. But you could see how they struggled to get speed. Like the athletes today are so fast.
Yeah.
With sports medicine and training and pills and stuff that they take to increase their stamina. The game is faster today.
Yeah.
But back then it was more academic, I think, and it was more precision, I think you would say. I don't know. I know all I'm saying is the game is a lot different today than it was when Fritz played.
So if you ask me, I am. This is a point which I always make up which I always come up with when we're talking about old school football. I guarantee that the World Championship winning team from 54. I always get confused with the numbers in English. With Fritz Walter would play against like a third league team now. They would lost like by a 2-digit number.
Yeah,
because back then, nowadays a defense player is expected to be everywhere on the field. Like when we're attacking, then he needs to be in the enemy's half of the pitch.
Yeah,
and back then they were staying in line and waiting for the ball. This is a completely different way of playing, and it's so extremely fast nowadays.
Yeah.
But I agree totally. Back then it was a rougher play, very rough, and I think in a way of beauty. So I really get annoyed when someone lays on the field and he's holding his ankle for like 20 minutes. Okay.
Then he jumps up and runs away.
Yeah, exactly. Come on, if I would be a referee, I would say, what are you trying to do? Screw me over?
Yeah.
And this is why I was very happy that in the game against Heidenheim, a player of Heidenheim got the yellow card for pretending a foul in the penalty area. So something you don't see very often, but I really think that it was the correct decision.
It's bad sportsmanship, and that's what a yellow card is supposed to be: an egregious foul or bad conduct.
Okay, yeah. How do you call it? British foul? Egregious foul.
Egregious
foul. Okay.
Yeah.
I see. But the times have changed extremely fast. If you see a player nowadays, it was a guy from Bayern Munich. He got the ball and he ran the 70 meters with the ball on his feet, like a second and something slower than a regular sprinter.
Oh, wow.
You can't compare, man. You can't compare this anymore.
That's skill.
It is.
Yeah.
But now, you teased it on that we're going to talk about the most important game, which was the last one against Hamburg. Man, what a freaking awesome day.
Spiel. And for our listeners that don't understand what this match means, when we say tradition spiel, these are two historic clubs in German football. Both very traditional. Maybe you can explain it a little bit better than me because I'm a new fan to German football, but maybe give a brief description of both clubs. I know that my experience with Hamburg is they were called Der Dino.
Yep.
For a long time, they were the only club left in German football that had never went to the second division. And they had a clock that counted up all their time in the Bundesliga up until, I think, 5 years ago? Or 4 that they got relegated. 4 years
ago, and now they're in the 5th year.
Yeah.
So before the Bundesliga was founded, they were like the Regionalliga today, where you have the south, the north, the northeast, and all these like tinier areas where you play football. Because of the money, of course, you have to travel from Kaiserslautern to Hamburg and stuff. Mm-hmm. And then they said, okay, let's make it a Bundesliga for whole Germany. And there were teams which got, because of the point estimate of the last years, and they got said, okay, you will be in the Bundesliga, you. And a funny thing right there, Bayern Munich isn't a founding team of the Bundesliga.
1860 is.
It is. Mm-hmm. And so the HSV and Kaiserslautern were both founders of the Bundesliga. So you explained it already that they got never relegated since the foundation of the Bundesliga. And now they got relegated 4 years ago. Now it will be the 5th year, if I'm right.
Yeah.
And so this is a very traditional matchup between these both teams. And funny story at this point, we played them for 95 times so far. Mm-hmm. And Bayern Munich is the only team which we played more than 100 times against. It is 101.
So, wow.
Yeah, and
I'd be interested to know what our record is against Hamburg. Wins, losses, and ties. I would like to know that stat. That would be interesting to find out how we are historically against that club.
So I just checked it, and it has been in so far 95 games, 29 victories for us, 23 draws, and 48 losses.
Okay, so they have a little bit of an edge on us, I think.
Yes, yes. But fortunately, the home games were always pretty good. So we're better at home playing against them. Well, to be honest, come on. The first match in the season against HSV, the 1-1 in their stadium, that was really awesome as well. So. Yeah,
we had like 15,000 away fans there.
Around about.
Yeah, and that was when the entire upper deck was like in flames. I think was it? Yeah, it was like right before the winter pause, right? I think because we had a show shortly after there, and I think I was telling you that when I was watching the live stream, that the TV looked like it was on fire because it was so red from all the pyro on the upper deck. I think that was Hamburg. I believe so.
It was Hamburg, but we also made a very good pyro show in Hanover.
That might have been that one. So, but I remember it looked like my TV. It had that red spot from being turned on. All the time, and it got that image burned in. I'm like, what the hell is wrong with my TV?
That was just awesome, and unfortunately I can't go because I had Corona, so fuck this shit. But so we made it a traditional day on Saturday. We used the old logo, like the one I got here on as a tattoo, not the regular one, which we're using now. And
which I like, by the way. I think that's my favorite logo.
Me too.
If we would go back to that, I think that would be really good, especially if anybody in K-Town, in the team, if you're listening to our show, bring back that jersey. Bring back the 2000s jersey where it's not red, but it's kind of like that dark red color.
Yep. That would be awesome.
Go back to a traditional jersey. I would think that would be really cool.
I agree 100%, bro. Yeah. So, but we made it a traditional day, and so we started with just tell a little bit about my day. I met up with my coworker and in the train, and then we got to Kaiserslautern. We've been there at 1 p.m. and then we got into the 12-man. We had.
I miss that place, by the way.
he misses you as well, man. Especially me.
Yeah.
And so we had a couple of beers, and afterwards we got onto the St. Martin's place. Mm-hmm. And we met up there at 2 p.m. ish, because we were having a fan march from the St. Martin's place up on the hill to Kaiserslautern, to the Betzenberg. That was so great.
For the people that don't know where St. Martin's Platz is, it's, if you're an American and are in K-Town, that is called the Altstadt, the old city. That's where Hannenfoss is. That's where all the pubs are right there. It's generally where all of those fan marches start. In fact, that was where our fan march started against Dresden that you and me went to.
Yes.
It starts there and it goes all the way up into the stadium.
And it's a good walk, if you ask me. I think it's around about 1.5 to 2
kilometers. Close, yeah. And then the rest of it's, it stops right at the circle there of 11 friends. But if you were to walk all the way up to the stadium, it's 2 kilometers, and the rest of it's up high.
The police were stopping us from going the stairs up. We have to make the longer way up the hill.
Okay, yeah.
But
and that's like this.
Yeah.
For people that don't know, you're walking like that, like a 10-degree grade.
It is. Oh, my God.
It'll get a workout, so you can drink a lot of beer, and then you work it off on the way up.
Absolutely. Yeah. So every time we walk up there, I need a tent with, how do you call it? Like oxygen. Yeah. So, but the march were amazing, but fortunately I had the chance to talk to a HSV fan before, and he was there with his wife, which is a K-Town fan, and his sons, and he was wearing like a jacket from HSV. He had a scarf on and a Fisher hat, and there were no trouble, nothing. He was just standing there having a couple of beers, talking with this guy, talking to that guy. Everyone was friendly, so that was so cool. And the march, of course, as well. Lots of pyro, so many people yelling, screaming, and it was so loud at some points. Just crazy. Sorry. So then we got into the block, and it was packed, of course. And before the game started, at the, let's say, final minutes before it really starts, there were this beautiful choreography going on over the west curve and the south curve tribune. That was so great for all of our, for some of our legends. Ronny Hellström, Norbert Tienes, Fritz Walter, of course.
Horst Eckel.
Horst Eckel,
yeah.
There was so much effort, so much work, so much passion from our ultras, put it into this choreography. And you always have to keep in mind, or you guys, Steven, you know this, this is work for, let's say, 2 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes, work of weeks, even months of preparation, of energy,
personal
of
time,
work,
where they're not
of
getting paid
private
for
time.
it.
These guys are not employed from Kaiserslautern. They after they got done with work, they drive up to Kaiserslautern and they work on a choreography. So that is so great and so awesome, just awesome, and it looked beautiful. But the HSV wasn't lazy as well. They had a choreography as well with like a glittering flags, which I really like. Like the looks like so. How do you call this foil where you put
like
around
tin foil?
Tin foil.
Tin foil. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they had the glittering pyro as well. The flashers.
Strobes.
Yeah, the strobes. Yeah.
And smoke, and even like we call it a battery, where you just light it once and then it shoots like 20
like firecrackers kind of thing,
which go up in the air and then explode. Yeah.
We call them bottle rockets here.
Bottle rockets,
like Roman candles. Or,
bottle rockets, yeah, of course. Yeah, and so they also got a really good impression there. But again, no trouble. Not between fans. I just had a conversation with a guy who wrote me an email. He was in the East Curve, in between the HSV fans, which had seat tickets, and he was the only fan which waved a Kaiserslautern flag, and nobody cared. There were no trouble. Everything was fine. So this is how football should be. Yeah. And
that's the only team that wears blue and black that we would have no problems with, if you know what I mean.
I definitely get you, bro. And the game itself, man, I have no idea what was going on with the HSV that day, because they played so bad, or we were too good.
Yeah.
Let's say it that way, because I think we don't let any real chances happen from HSV. Yeah.
I want to look up a stat, because I actually looked that up the other day. Let me pull up the stats here real quick.
Meanwhile, we forced them even to make errors. I remember one situation where the keeper of Hamburg were in his half of the field, and he tried to pass over the ball in a high kick, and he kicked the ball straight against his own player, and Zimmer got the ball right on his foot. Yeah, and the goal was completely empty, but the distance were way too far. It was like 50 meters or something.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
and unfortunately, it didn't get in. But that was a forced mistake.
The stats for that match is we had 14 shots, 6 of which were on target, and then 2 went in.
Yeah. They
had 8 shots for the entire game, and only 1 of them was on target.
That is. Come on, this is a stat where I said it.
But they had 67% possession.
Who cares?
They had plenty of time to make something happen. Yeah. They just didn't.
They didn't. Yeah, exactly. And of course, having the ball in your possession is a good thing. Yeah. But on the other hand, come on, you can have it for like 90% of the time. But if the team has 10% the ball and they score twice and you don't, who cares?
Yeah, exactly.
And so this is why I said, like in my video, that a 3-0 victory would have been also deserved, if you ask me. But it was the first time in this season that Terrence Boyd wasn't in the starting team so far.
Yep.
Which made many people like wondering why, but it worked out. It definitely worked out.
Sometimes you have to be unorthodox, and it's funny because both of the guys that scored goals for us came off the bench.
Exactly.
I mean, that's a unique strategy, but when you run out of ideas and you run out of ways to maybe stimulate your team, coming off the bench, it's probably depressing for Terrence because he's used to being a starter, but maybe that gave him a little bit of extra anger to he's mad at Derek Schuster for, keeping him on the bench, but all right, well, I'm going to go out there and prove him wrong. And both him and Opoku scored pretty quick. Opoku was on the field for like 20 seconds and he scored a goal.
32 to be
32,
exact.
That's right. Yeah.
To be precise.
I was going to watch it and like calculate the exact seconds he was on there, but it's neat to see him score because he's become one of my favorite players. He's, I think, the fastest guy on our team. The stat that he was the fastest player on that field, I think it was 36 kilometers an hour.
My God.
Speed.
Could you imagine running so fast?
The height-to-height match, it was Zimmer had the fastest speed on the pitch at like 32. But Zimmer's fast.
Yeah, he is.
But Opoku was just like...
That is crazy. I don't even fall this far, this fast. But and for Opoku, it was his very first ball contact in this game. Yeah, and then he scored. Man, and when we scored the first goal, I got completely nuts. I thought someone is making a joke or something. Yeah. Or there must be something wrong here, or it's offside, or anything else. But it counts, and that was so.
It was
crazy.
Weird, and I've seen this video probably 50 times. I can't tell how he scored. It looked like because Zimmer brought the ball in, and he was running to the side. Did he kick it behind his leg or through his leg? It wasn't like a straight kick. It was like a trick shot
with his heel.
Yeah, like Fritz Walter did with the back heel. You know, that one picture
but with the feet on the ground.
Yeah.
Just crazy. How confident do you need to be to do something like this? Yeah. And after Opoku scored, because to be honest, I thought like, okay, we're one goal behind, but there are plenty of time for the HSV to do a victory or at least tie. Yeah. But they had nothing changed in the way of playing. Yeah. And I'm not complaining about it. There was just celebration and just happiness, if you ask me. And then when the second goal got in, there was pure excitement. Pure excitement.
Let me give you my opinion on Hamburg's play. Every team is guilty of doing this. If, like, say, when we were back in the third league and maybe we're playing Victoria Köln, but the week after that we have Mannheim or Saarbrücken. Teams will look past that game because they're so focused on the derby. Because you know what's coming up this week for Hamburg? Yep. It's the derby with St. Pauli. Yeah. So perhaps they were more focused on that match and said, "Oh, this is K-Town. They've not been playing that well lately. We'll get a draw or we'll win, and then we can really focus on the derby." I'm thinking they were looking past us. That's my opinion.
This is a very good point, because afterwards at the interview, the HSV coach got asked what was going. Why did you lose? And he said that we didn't get onto the pitch correctly, and St. Pauli made us play bad. But we aren't St. Pauli, we are Kaiserslautern. So all these guys seem to be in the next week, as you said. Yeah. So this is a very good idea, that this is the problem for them, but that's not our problem.
No, and it happens in every sport, though. Yeah, you have games where you're confident and you look past a team, and we've done that this year. We've looked past, Magdeburg, Braunschweig, all the lower, like Sandhausen, they're way down there, and we've looked past them. Oh, we're way up in the standings. They're not going to be a problem. Any team in that table can beat you.
Absolutely.
Any team can.
Any team can.
You can never afford to play one half of football like we've seen this year, where we start really bad. You have to play 90 minutes plus stoppage time.
Absolutely.
From first whistle to the end.
Absolutely.
You can't take a break.
No, you can't. Never.
Because you'll have exactly what happened to Heidenheim. You know, they went from maybe going up 3-0 with a penalty, and then all of a sudden, in 5 minutes, they went from getting 3 points from us to 1 point.
Yep. This is exactly what happens.
Yep.
But yeah, you said it. You still get goosebumps by thinking about this game, and same over here.
Yeah.
Because so many people, and there were lots of older people, which I know, and they had the same thoughts like Dieter had. Which means like, this is Kaiserslautern, this is how it used to be, and now we're back. Yeah. And an older guy was looking at me and he said like, now we're back in the second league. And these are words which I will definitely keep in my mind, because playing against, like, let's say Sandhausen or I don't know, I don't want to insult any others, so yeah. Is like, okay, you play against them, you need to win, of course. They could be traditional clubs and stuff, but Hamburg is the dino of the first league, and now they're in second league, and there is a guy called Der Sivi on YouTube. He is a huge HSV fan, and he is making like uncut videos, like 10 minutes, and talking about the games, and he's known for his extreme anger. I don't know if this is real, his thoughts, or if he's just doing it to be
theatrical.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. He wants you to click. He wants you to click subscribe and ring the bell notification.
He doesn't ask for it, but don't get me wrong. He's a real cool guy, if you ask me. But still, I think this is sometimes overpowered. I was just watching the game, the reaction on the game, and even Bella said, "Okay, you get angry sometimes," and then I yell as well. But it's not like he's screaming for 10 minutes straight. There is no a real. I don't know. I don't buy it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, but still, he was also saying something which I can't agree more. Hamburg got relegated. So, they've been in the second league. They played so extremely good, and at the end stretch, they screwed it up. So they ended up on rank 4.
Yep.
Year later, same thing. Year later, same thing. Year later, promotion game, like the relegation games. And then they screw up. Now they're on second place. There you go.
Yeah.
Let's see what's going to happen.
It's like when the heat is applied to them, they buckle. You know, they fall apart. Like heat, if you look at metal, is supposed to refine. It's like when you create steel, you melt away the bad parts of the metal to form the good metal. So when they say, like, this is a trial by fire or baptism by fire, fire should make you stronger, you know. But it seems like it's right when they've hit that peak, that mountaintop, where they think they're just about to say, hey, we're going to go back up to the first league, they find a way to shoot themselves in the foot. They look past us, and now they have a row fight with St. Pauli, who have won 8 matches in a row. They won since
10.
10, yeah.
They won 10 matches in a row, and now they lost against Braunschweig, which also seemed like they were also already
looking past.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Like, okay, man, Braunschweig is at the bottom of the table, so come on, we just play them, we win, and let's focus on the derby. But no, the most important game is always the upcoming one.
Yeah.
So let's see what's going to happen. What are your thoughts about, to make it like and for this part here, what are your thoughts for the game HSV against St. Pauli?
I hope it's on TV because I would love to watch it.
Yeah.
I think it will be because that would be like Dortmund Schalke.
Yeah, of the second
big,
league, yeah, definitely.
The big rivalry. I think it will be on ESPN. I will have to. In fact, I can look up on my phone to see if it's on here. I see a draw. I see 2-2, maybe 1-1.
Usually this happens.
Yeah. It's historically speaking, they always come to a point where they can't beat each other, but they tie.
Yeah.
Same with us with Mannheim.
Yeah.
Except the final year during COVID, we beat them. It was always a tie, and that to me is the best experience of a derby, where you're just good enough to keep even with your enemy.
Well, I would agree, but when I think back to our first match in the season against Karlsruhe, 2-0, I would buy this more.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So
it's always better to win.
Yeah, of course.
It's more fun when it's you punch me and you knock me down, and then I get up and I knock you down. It's that back and forth, because if one team is always beating the other, it's not really a rivalry or a derby. It's kind of like, all right, you're the big brother, you're picking on the little brother. Cleveland has a big historic rivalry with Pittsburgh. Ohio State football has a big rivalry with Michigan. And if you look at the series between each team, it's pretty even. So one team might win 4 games in a row, and then the next team will have a better team, and they'll win the next 3. And it's always this back and forth battle, So like I think when you have a derby, it's for a K-Town fan. I want to beat Saarbrücken. I want to beat Mannheim. I want to beat Karlsruhe. But occasionally they might get lucky, and when you're not looking, they'll punch you and you knock you down, and then they'll have a little bit of a laugh for a little bit, and then that's when you come back and you punch them in the head. So now we have to go down to Karlsruhe and. Into enemy territory and take care of business, and that's in. Let me pull up my. I want to pull up my.
This is on the 28th of May 21st. Yeah, exactly.
Yep. We still have 8 games left, so 24 possible points.
8 games.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, 6. Sorry,
6.
I'm looking at. I was looking at Louisville City and Minnesota in America. Or our 2 friendly matches. I will be at the one in Minnesota. So we have 6 matches, so 18 points. I would like to see 10. I would like to see 10 points.
I would say 10.
Yep.
But bro, oh my God, when you say this, could you remember when we were like, okay, we got the 40 points in the next 5 matches?
Yeah.
Oh, we were so wrong.
Oh yeah, that's the episode with when we had Terrence Boyd on there. Like, we'll knock that out in the next 5 or 6 weeks.
Okay, but screw it, we got him, and we have 43 so far, and now it is more important to be on a very good spot in the table, because the better the spot is, the more money you get for TV broadcasts. Yeah, so let's see.
So I'm looking at next week. We have Jan Regensburg.
Yep.
The week after that, a home match against Hansa Rostock. On the road against Nuremberg. I could see winning those. Regensburg is not, but it's on the road.
Bro, we lost against them 3-0 on the Betzenberg.
Yeah.
So this is not like a team which you just blew away, but I think now we're free. We can play freely. So I'm looking forward to the game, but I can see us win. So
yeah. Hansa Rostock on April 29th. That's always special. The Rostock fans are very vocal, very passionate.
Yep.
I've seen their stickers in the Stadtpark in Kaiserslautern from their supporting fans. Nuremberg, we beat them. I always remember them as the extra time penalty kicks in the
Oh
Pokal.
my God, yeah.
Where we gave away the game because our keeper rolled the ball out and the guy snuck around and kicked it in.
Yep.
But then he stopped it in penalties, and we beat Nuremberg just to lose to Fortuna Düsseldorf that year?
Düsseldorf, yeah.
Yeah. Arminia Bielefeld, we have to win that game.
Yeah, yeah.
No excuses.
No excuses. So,
but do not look past that game, because May 21st is Karlsruhe.
Exactly.
So
but I think the rest of the season, except the last one against Fortuna Düsseldorf,
yep.
is definitely madeable. Especially Hansa Rostock is at the bottom of the table right now. I think they're on 17th rank, and Regensburg is also in a not the best spot, and still in the relegation problematic.
Yeah.
Whoa, let's see.
That would be crazy to see Hansa Rostock in the third league again.
Yeah.
Because we played them all the time.
Yeah.
And for them to go down when Braunschweig and Magdeburg were at the bottom all year, and they've recently gone up a little bit.
Yeah.
So all of that bottom table has kind of shifted. So Braunschweig and Magdeburg are up a little bit, but Hansa Rostock in the third league again. That it doesn't seem right to me. I mean, they've done really well in the second league.
Yeah. But this is what happens.
Yeah. Nobody is safe.
Absolutely.
Look at us. We thought we would never be in the third league, but
we've been for a long time. But now we're safe in second league. So I'm looking in a very. If you ask me, the future of Kaiserslautern is very not bright. Not like very sunny and everything's fine future, but I think with Hengen and with Dirk Schuster, we're having a very good team, and I'm looking forward what's going to happen. But the most important thing is that we change our minds in when it comes to away games, and especially not all these draws like. We had lately in the home matches, because the second year in the second league is
always
the hardest. Yeah.
Yep.
So, but still, I'm very optimistic.
Year you're riding on adrenaline from promotion.
Yeah.
And the other teams aren't used to seeing you.
Yep.
But now, after a whole year, you won't catch anybody by surprise.
This is exactly my fault.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on the third league? Elversberg looks like they're going to be...
Elversberg is going to be promoted. But second and third rank, everything can happen.
Yeah.
This sounds a phrase or something, but no, I really mean it. Anything can happen. Waldhof Mannheim is 2 points away. Saarbrücken is there. Wiesbaden. This is just crazy
Dresden.
up there. Dresden. My God, I forgot about them.
Osnabrück is still there.
Yeah, so this is a very tense situation.
I really want to watch a lot of these if I could find a way to watch these matches like the last 6 weeks. That's going to be very entertaining football.
This definitely will be. So let's see who's going to be our enemy from this third league next year. If you ask me, I would prefer definitely, let's say, Saarbrücken or Waldhof Mannheim on second rank, and third, one of these. Sorry, and both get promoted. So we have all these derbies going on in the Southwest.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, sadly, our friends from Munich don't look like they will be making the trip this year.
This is after they started so freaking good in the season. They won all the 5 first games, and I was like, okay, man, now this is their year. Next year, Kaiserslautern against TSV 1860 München in Kaiserslautern in Munich, standing together with our friends, celebrating.
Yeah.
And then they just stopped playing football for the whole freaking season. I have no idea what's going on.
Speaking of, did you watch the it's a little hello to our friends in Stuttgart. Did you watch the Stuttgart Dortmund game this past weekend?
Not in
3-3.
Not completely, but this was just. This is a big.
It happens every time that they play. One team jumps out and the other one kind of claws back in.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they played so good, and unfortunately, it doesn't pay off. So
yeah. Well, they have a new trainer in Stuttgart now, I think. They hired a new trainer. But unless they get really fortunate, we might see our friends in our Schwabian friends.
Yeah, I guess so. Unfortunately, I don't want them to get relegated, but signs look bad, man.
Yeah.
And Schalke as well. So let's see. There are still a lot of points for them to get, but
It'll be. I tell people that German football, the most entertaining German football, is in the second and third league, because every year everybody knows that Bayern Munich is going to be up on the top. RB Leipzig might be there, but it's usually Bayern and whoever else is in second place.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's no drama. There's no
excitement.
Yeah.
The only thing really in First League right now is Union Berlin.
Mm-hmm.
And I really thought that these guys could make it happen, that they will win the German championship, but still they're on third or fourth rank right now. They're doing so good, and I'm so happy for them. Also for Freiburg, that they played so good, and they kicked out Bayern Munich out of the DFB Cup. So that was really, really intense. So let's see what's going to happen.
I mean, it's not done. Dortmund is only 2 points behind Bayern. Union Berlin is 7 points away. I mean, it's hard for that to happen.
7 points is too much. 7 points is way too much. If your competitors are Bayern Munich and Borussia Dortmund, 7 points are way too much.
Yep, that's
unfortunately.
But I really hope Dortmund would win. It would just be nice to see somebody else hosting that trophy
after
at the end of the year.
10 years.
Yeah.
In a row of Bayern Munich being a German championship winner.
They don't care anyway.
Yeah,
I mean,
they don't.
I was there after they won the championship. You didn't see any people in the streets. It was just like, it's business as usual.
Exactly.
Whatever. Yeah.
So, but bro, your expectations for let's make it a real expectation for the game against Regensburg on Sunday. What do you think?
I really think that the last two home games, especially against Hamburg this last week, and all the emotion that went into it, I want to see that translate into momentum on the road.
Okay.
I want to see points.
Me too.
I would like to see, I think, a 3-1 victory for us.
That sounds awesome. I would buy it.
I think Boyd's going to score again.
Mm-hmm.
I think Depreville might score. And I think let's go with Redondo with a score.
Okay. Yeah,
I mean, I don't know if he
awesome.
played. I don't think he played against Hamburg.
No, he didn't. He was, I guess, injured. Yeah, he had something with his upper leg. I have no idea how you call it. Yeah, with muscle problems, but hopefully he will be back on track.
Yeah.
You know, I don't predict in particular, but I would say we can win this.
I think we're going to leave with points. If it's a draw, that's better than a loss. I just want. I tell everybody, points is momentum.
Yeah.
You may not win, but you're not losing. You're gaining a point. Because we've got 6 matches left, 18 points. Let's try to get 10, 12, and see what happens.
Absolutely. Okay, brother.
But you'll be on the couch?
Yes, I will be there in the live stream again, yeah. But okay, brother, thank you so much for this, again, wonderful Talking K-Town. Guys, if you stick till this point with us. Let us
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
I hope you're still awake.
And please, down below, there is a comment box. Let us know what your thoughts about the situation in Kaiserslautern is. Again, the game against HSV, and what is going on with the rest of the season, and especially in the first and the third league. I'm very interested. If you've got
anything that you want to talk to us about, give us a message. Bloop them in the comments down there.
Yep.
Whether it's football related, maybe.
You can ask us anything.
Yeah, anything. Yeah.
We're happy to answer.
Maybe the last show of the year, when we're wrapping up the season, we'll call it like Free for All Friday.
Okay.
Or it'll be a Friday. Maybe we can even do a live stream. I don't know if we can make that happen.
I just thought about this idea. We have to, guys, down below the comment box. Do you want us to make a live stream for, let's say, a wrap up for the whole season?
Free for All Friday.
Exactly. Okay, my brother. Again, thank you so much. I enjoyed it again, and I would say see you on the couch and
see you on the couch.
And Prost, my brother.
Prost, brother.